So I read that the first prototype of the boosted boards was made over a year ago now, and that you guys have actually gone through, well, at the time it was written, it was 10 prototypes.
Yeah.
That's quite a few. Now, how did you decide, after prototype 10, all right, now we're ready to go to Kickstarter?
Yeah, I mean, the first prototypes were developed because, we wanted them, and they were, kind of, put together somewhat quickly and stuff. And, there was a lot of things that we knew we wanted to improve. And, we just kept on improving it, kept getting feedback. I think one of the big things that we're about is the customer development stuff that Steve Blank talks a lot about. So just, rapidly iterating and getting feedback from people. And, we had basically come to a point where we had a product that was sort of the minimum viable product that, we were happy with and liked the way it looked and stuff. And so we actually, sold a beta version of that was, to paying customers. And we want to get make sure that, someone would actually buy this and that they would give us real feedback. And we did that a couple months before doing our Kickstarter. And, based on their feedback, it was amazing. It was kind of more than we would have, really expected. And this actually gave us kind of that last confidence of, we're going to do this on Kickstarter because we know that we have that great product ready. So
how did you end up going about actually finding people who are interested in buying a pre-release beta of a physical product, especially when it's something they're kind of riding on and taking their life into their hands with?
Yeah, it's true. It actually wasn't too hard with our product because, people were just, so excited about it that we actually had a waiting list going on that people were, we just, had a list of people that were just whenever you guys sell it, I'm ready to buy one because, so that actually, was really nice. One thing that's kind of unique about our product is that, it's very visible when you ride it around. In a way, it almost kind of self-advertises. And so from that, we just had, a lot of people that were waiting to actually buy it. And, from that, we wanted to choose people that, across different demographics would be using it for different purposes, so that we could actually get feedback from different use cases.
Okay, and how were people actually hearing about this before the Kickstarter campaign? Were you going to live events? Were you advertising it by pay-per-click or anything like that? Or was it all just kind of friends of friends of friends of friends, word of mouth?
Yeah, it was. It was mostly, sort of the grassroots organic type of getting out there in the pavement. We weren't, paying for anything. We were just taking our prototypes out, demoing it, and really making sure that we hit different audiences. We were already riding it around the college campus and kind of understanding what that community was looking for. We were taking it onto the Caltrain where there was a lot of these urban commuters and kind of really understanding their situation and what needs that they had. And then we, also were taking it to the longboarding clubs and, the sort of recreational riders who were really just, pushing longboarding, to its limits and stuff, and getting feedback from them also. That's mostly where, we were just, doing our getting the word out and spreading the word was that way.
Okay. And how did you go about making the design decisions, like for the board, what you were going to include, what you were going to leave out? Like, I noticed that while we've seen at least one other project that did well on Kickstarter for an electric skateboard, that you guys had chosen to use a hand control, like a wireless hand control for acceleration and I think braking, but correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, for braking it. Braking.
Yeah, well, we'll go into that in a moment. Where the other project we saw was using like pedals on the actual board. But how did you actually go about making those design decisions over what was worth including and what wasn't?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is really focusing in really on what your core technology is. And for us, it was all about really keeping it as lightweight and portable as possible, and that's really what is special about our board is just like how much performance you have in such a compact volume. And
sorry, can you say why is that important?
That's important because for a last mile vehicle, you want it to be something that enhances your life and is not like a burden to carry around. So if it's something that's really heavy and you're trying to carry onto a train, you're going to be like less likely to use it. And that's the biggest thing that we've found from our customers is that they wanted something that was very lightweight. They also want something that's very intuitive, and having a hand controller actually is we have found to be much more intuitive because it can allow you to give a input like immediately. So if something is coming out out of your blind side or whatever, you need to stop immediately. You don't want to have to shift your foot or you want something that is just you can do immediately. And so we found that using a hand controller, it's really kind of the best option for that. And so that's kind of what really drove our decision. Is what feels the most intuitive to people. That includes the sort of action recreational longboarding crew that are doing all their sides and stuff, and they've said that using that hand controller, it actually feels more intuitive to them. So.
Yeah, well, I know as someone who is an absolutely terrible skater, I know, my most horrific memory of being on a skateboard is being stuck on one going down this hill, out of control at a rate of knots and just not really having any idea how on earth I could stop this thing without, going head over feet. So
yeah,
I can see from a non-skateboarder perspective that it really makes it easier for people who aren't necessarily skateboarders to come in and get the hang of it. And also, it's about, I guess, taking away that the fear aspect.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to stop this thing if I really need to without years of practice?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you would not buy any vehicle that doesn't have brakes, but they've been selling skateboards without brakes since it started, and it's not there will always be people that want to push and stuff, but our real philosophy is that we want to kind of expand the longboarding market and make it easier for those who it's harder for them to do the balancing and pushing and stopping, and especially going down hills. Like here in San Francisco, I've run across a bunch of skateboarders who are I used to skateboard in college, but I can't manage these San Francisco hills, and most people can't, it's really tough. So being able to have brakes is really key. Especially like learning. One of the first things that happens when someone steps on a skateboard usually is the board slides out from under them, and then they have like, a horrible experience to start off, and they,
I'm never doing it again.
Yep, exactly. So, whereas our board, it's not going to move until you actually like command it to move, and then it also has all the braking power going downhill. So, really helped out this.